Hey everyone, welcome back to another collector's review. Today we're going to look at an older Morpher from a series, Tokosou Sentai Dekaranger / Power Rangers S.P.D, as it's known here in America. It is the Morpher of Deka Break / the Omega Ranger, known as the Braythrottle or the Omega Morpher. Interesting little side note real quick, I want to get it out of the way. In Power Rangers S.P.D in the American version, our Omega Ranger, he didn't have a morphing sequence. Want to know why? Because we never saw him actually morph. In Power Rangers S.P.D, the Omega Ranger, when he first appears, he just shows up. He's apparently from the future. He just shows up, he's already morphed, and throughout the entire series that we see him, all the episodes that we see him, he never unmorphs. He stays in his Ranger form, because I guess he's from the future, and the time flux messed something up in the morphing grid, and now when he unmorphs, he's just a floating ball of light. That's really, really weird, but okay. In the Japanese version, though, Tokosou Sentai Dekaranger, he did have a morphing sequence. It's actually a really good one, obviously. He's a favorite Ranger of mine, and I was really, really upset when they brought it to America that he didn't even have an actor's face. It was just a stuntman in the suit, and they used the stock footage from Tokosou Sentai Dekaranger of when Deka Break or Omega Ranger was doing all his fighting. So again, that was a little bit disappointing, but we're just going to focus mainly on talking about Deka Break from Tokosou Sentai Dekaranger because he actually did morph. He actually used the Morpher. Again, in S.P.D, you would always see the Morpher on his wrist, and he would use it as a weapon, because Deka Break or the Omega Ranger didn't have a weapon. His Morpher was his weapon. Get to that here in a second, but this is also going to be somewhat of a comparison. To compare, starting out, look at the size difference. Seriously, look at the size and detail difference, guys. Look at that. Bandai of Japan, Bandai of America. Listen to that. This so cheaply made. So cheaply made for Bandai of America. We all know they drop the bomb a lot when it comes to toys here in America for Power Rangers. But, and we all know that in Japan, they always get it right. 100% of the time, they get it right in Japan. May not always be proper show size, like especially when it comes to, like, say, the sword weapons, but when it comes to things like the blasters and the morphers and other accessories, yeah, it's spot on. The size is perfect. It'll work perfectly great with cosplay, anything like that. But no, here in America, they make everything so tiny and so much less detailed that it's only fit for a child. It really is. It's only fit for a child's imagination. Well, like I said, the Bandai of Japan versions, you can use it for cosplay. You can take this to a convention and everyone will be like, oh yeah, that's so cool. You took this to a convention, everyone would just laugh at you, unless your kid was wearing it. But, starting out, okay, well, I guess we're going to go ahead and let's do the Bandai of Japan version first, just because it'll make this one seem so much more lacking in the end. I got these used off of eBay a couple of years ago. I've had these in my possession for quite some time now, and obviously the Bandai of Japan version was a lot more expensive, like a lot more expensive. This actually cost me about $79 on eBay, while the Bandai of America version, it really only cost me like $30. So 80, 30, it's a $50 difference. That's crazy. And when I received them, they did not come with the original straps, so I had a few extra GoPro straps that I just went ahead and attached to them, and they work fine. It works absolutely great. Obviously, for cosplay purposes, I would want the actual accurate strap for it, but that would be easy enough for me, even for me to make myself. I would just need the materials and the time to do it. But we'll go ahead and slip this on real quick. And as it is with most wrist morphers, they are usually worn on the left arm. Okay, so it's attached. Now, right off the bat, you're going to notice the difference, probably real quick, that the lights up here are actual lights. They're actually clear lights that actually light up as they're supposed to, like a police siren lights. While the American version just has these little, it's just painted. It's just painted red and blue. Again, so lame. So lame. But, let's put that down for a second. Let's put that aside. All right. On switch is on the side right here. Makes a nice little sound indication that you've turned the device on. You don't want to leave it on, obviously. Some of the older morphers would actually give off a small indication beep, letting you know that the toy is still on after a certain period of time. This one does not do that, but it has a pretty obvious on-off switch. You can tell when it's on, if just by looking at it. So the device is on, and it's got all the details you'd think it should have from the show on there. I mean, they don't really zoom in on his Morpher that often, but it's got lights, it's got sounds, it's got this little gauge right here. It's supposed to be for, I'm guessing, RPM when he revs it up. You guys should see the series. It's a really, really good series. Like I said, this is not only his Morpher, but this is also his weapon. First off, I'll show you the morphing sequence. Sorry, I can't talk today. Do I talk much? No, but I do when I do these reviews, so sometimes I might stumble over myself. Anyway, to morph, he presses this button right here, this blue button in the center, and when he presses it to morph, this display right here will flip up, and there's lights and sounds, and he morphs. So I'll give a quick demonstration. You see the lights, you hear the sounds, everything's accurate to the show, pretty much. And you'll notice that there are several lights. Red lights, green lights, really, really bright and vibrant too. The sound could be a little bit better in this device. So I just put new batteries in it, so it's as loud as it's pretty much going to get. I'm going to hear it again. And there's also a button right here that's the Roman numeral number 6, and that also makes a sound. It's a call sound. And you can even see that when I press it, the red light comes on up here, and a yellow light comes on right here. Oh, pardon me, but the green light is on as well. It was just a little hard to see for some weird reason. But yeah, it's just basically the whole thing lights up when it's in call mode. And if you press it, and then press it again, you can cancel it out. It stops, so you don't got to wait for it to go through its whole thing before it shuts up. But I showed you the morph. I showed you the call mode. Now for his weapon mode, it's got this throttle lever right here, which flips up, and you can hear that. It's got sounds. That when it locks into position, it gives off a sound. And he is supposed to rev it. And as I'm doing that, there are lights and sounds. And you can hold it down pretty much forever, even though it gets annoying. But once you rev it a couple times and then let go, close it, and you get one of his more popular attack sounds, where he would rev it, close it, and pretty much punch the ground, and it would send an electric shockwave to his enemy. Really, really powerful, really spectacular to look at. It was really, really cool. And that's really about it for the Japanese version, which is still more than the American version, which I'll show you here in a second. But again, just the fact that there are actual lights up here, and everything works like it should. So, worth the $80, I suppose. And one thing you'll notice real quick is that when you press this, this actually does flip up. It's on a spring mechanism right here, And when you hit it, it springs up like it's actually supposed to in the show. Now let me show you the American version. I don't even really want to put it on. That's how bad it is. Oh boy. So, Bandai of Japan version. Now we go on to the Bandai of America version. The $30 toy that I bought from eBay. Again, I don't even want to put this child piece of plastic on my wrist. Okay, and automatically you can see how much smaller that is. It doesn't even look accurate whatsoever. Again, I mentioned that while this version has way more lights and sounds, this is just fixed paint right here, so you're not going to see any lights up here. But the dial, the gauge that's right here, you can see how detailed that is. Well, on here, it's just a sticker, a really bad one too, and it doesn't have. It's just black and white, just a black and white sticker. It's the same with the front faceplate right here. That's supposed to be here. It's an actual plastic overlay with paint detailing and obviously the lights on the inside. Well, that's not present on this. Again, it's just a colored sticker that's been overlaid. And let me turn this on. Okay, again, on and off switch is on pretty much in the same spot, and it actually says off and on, while this one just has an X and an O, because that's just the way the Japanese do it. This is really, really lame. I can't even... Okay, the morphing sequence. As you can hear, it's, again, low, fresh batteries, but even lower sounds than the Japanese version. And as you'll notice, this does not flip up. It doesn't flip up. It does, but not when you hit the button in the center. You actually have to lift it yourself. And there's the lame part, too. Look at that. It doesn't stay. There's no locking mechanism at the top of this to at least make it stay up. So it just keeps falling. So bad. So in order to show you the one light as opposed to half a dozen on this, it's going to be hard to show you. I'm going to have to hold it up and show you. One red light. That's it. That's really it. Opposed to that. Oh my goodness. It's almost embarrassing. Bandai of America, you embarrass yourselves. And as I told you on the Japanese version, where if you hit the Roman numeral number 6 at the bottom of the device, it gives off a call sound. Well, here it's present, but it's not a button. It's just a false. It's just false. There's nothing to press. No sound, no nothing. It's not even a button. So. Wow. It does have the throttle, just like this one, of course, but no sound when opening or closing it. So that's 2 sounds down. That's 2 sounds that this is lacking, opposed to this. Open it. It does have the revving sound, and it's hard to see, but it does light up when holding this open. Pretty bad I gotta hold it open. Doesn't stay open like the Japanese version, but rev it a couple times just like the Japanese version and close. That's it. That is it. All it does. So that's it. That's 3 sounds. 3 sounds that this is lacking compared to its Japanese counterpart. Bandai of America, I've said it before and I'll keep on saying it. Every time I do one of these comparison reviews, I'm going to say it. Step up your game. Spend an extra $5 or however much it costs to put 3, 4 more sounds into your toys. More functions. Spend an extra 15 cents for more plastic to make the toy larger, to make it more accurate show size. This This is by far one of the worst Bandai of America morphers that you can get. By far. By far one of the worst. There are other bad ones, like the Dino Charge Morpher, which in comparison to the Gabba Revolver in Zuden Sentai Kyoryuger, the Dino Charge Morpher from Power Rangers Dino Charge is just it's an absolute travesty what they did to it. It doesn't even almost look like the same Morpher. At least here, it looks like the same Morpher, it's just smaller and lacks detail and sounds and functionality. It shouldn't, but it does. And that's the disappointing thing about the Bandai of America version. It's just not worth it, guys. Totally, totally not worth it. Worth it for me, because I get to have it as a part of my collection. It's a nice little discussion piece. But is it worth $30? No. When the show first came out here in America, you could probably buy this in the store for probably 20, 25 bucks, I'm thinking. So really, I didn't spend really any much more on it on eBay than I would have back in 2005, 2006 when this came out in America. It's 2005. It's 2005. 2005. So, which would you guys pick, obviously? It's kind of a no-brainer at this point. The Braythrottle from Dekaranger, or the Omega Morpher from Power Rangers S.P.D, which we didn't even get to see a morphing sequence for. So disappointing. So lacking. So lacking. It's so funny. But anyway, guys, that's my comparison review of the morphers from the Ranger Deka Break or the Omega Ranger from Tokosou Sentai Dekaranger / Power Rangers S.P.D. I know I probably said that a lot in this episode. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. You guys all know the deal. Please help me out, guys. I'm trying to grow this channel more than I know what to do with at this point. But I've got lots of content coming. Comic-Con is coming. More collector's reviews are coming. And obviously still more reviews of Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel, as well as I will begin reviewing Uchu Sentai Kyuranger episode by episode once I receive it on DVD box set, probably within the next month or two, depending on how long it takes for them to release it, to how long it takes for me to get it from Japan, actually get it shipped to me, because usually when I order stuff from Japan or China or Malaysia, the Philippines, places like that, it usually takes 2-3 weeks for it to get to me. And I just live in Columbus, Ohio, so it's, I mean, yeah, it's the United States and they're across the world, but still, waiting 3 weeks for a DVD is a little bit steep, but I'm going to do it because I have to collect these things, not only just for me, but because I want to share my experiences with all of you. So, again, guys, thanks for watching. Later.